The folks at Matchup Tracker put together a graphic about college football games we've never seen, matchups we've never seen. Now, I will say that when we jump on here, I don't know all future schedules. I know the Auburn one that's on the graphic, there is a future game scheduled with this team. But to date, from Matchup Tracker.
Would you feel good about gun to head you could name one? Like, if I threw out a program, like I know like Alabama, Oregon have never played.
That's right. That's right. And
but I'm saying
they're
like
on this list.
But if I threw out somebody that Ohio State has never played, would you feel really good about that?
I don't know.
No.
I think I would say Auburn, right?
SEC teams, I would feel decent about it.
Auburn's never played Ohio State,
I think maybe a bowl game.
I know you get to that Outback Tampa situation.
I think I remember watching it. I watched the bowl game,
I don't think you're right.
Yeah.
I don't. Massive heart attack.
Yeah.
Didn't they play him in, it was like a Hall of Fame bowl?
I watched the game, Lance.
Yeah.
I remember
thought
watching
Miami, Alabama played Ohio State. Miami played Auburn, right?
No, that was the preseason. This was a postseason bowl game. It was the Hall of Fame game, then became the Outback, now it's something else.
In Tampa,
Okay.
I watched it.
Anyway,
so it was on the morning of January 1.
Yeah, so
I think
clearly Lance can't do it.
Really difficult for the history of college football.
In the 1990 Hall of Fame Bowl,
remember
Auburn played Ohio State.
I remember watching it.
I'll tell you, I was in Lexington, Kentucky working.
Yeah,
that season.
Alabama was playing in the Sugar against Miami. Alabama had lost the first ever Iron Bowl at Jordan-Hare. They were in the Sugar against Miami, and Auburn played Ohio State. There was a hit in that game that would be illegal today that turned somebody's lights out. I remember it vividly.
Here are the ones that, according to Matchup Tracker, has never been played. And Ohio State's on there against a team that doesn't shock you. But here are some of them. Florida State, Texas, LSU, Michigan, Alabama, Oregon, Penn State, Virginia Tech, Oregon, Texas A&M, Clemson, Michigan, Ohio State, Ole Miss, Clemson, Oregon, Boise State, USC, Auburn, Notre Dame. Now, Auburn, Notre Dame's on a future schedule pretty quickly here, right?
Yeah, assuming we keep the game.
Like, not this year, but I think next year, like 2027.
I will confirm that for you quickly.
We're to the point now, 67 days away, that this year is the upcoming season. Next year will be 2027.
Right, 2027 Auburn is at Notre Dame, and 2028 Notre Dame comes to Jordan-Hare Stadium. Interestingly,
Auburn's going to get getaway year of C.J. Carr, by the way. He still won't be able to go to the draft this year.
You know what's interesting about that 2028 game, just quickly?
I think he is draft eligible.
Oh, is he?
Because he was a redshirt freshman last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's interesting about that Notre Dame game in 2028 is it falls on October 28th. So it falls right in the middle. It's not a pre-conference. It's right in the middle of the conference schedule.
So back to those.
That's interesting.
Which one of those matchups could you see in the college football playoff this year?
Oh.
There's only a couple, actually.
Well, you could see
Alabama,
Oregon probably jumps out the most.
Maybe LSU, Michigan. Won't blow me away.
A&M, Oregon.
Yeah.
A&M, Oregon. Ohio State, Ole Miss. If Ole Miss overachieves a little bit and gets back there.
God, with that schedule. Man, if Pete Golden gets to a college football playoff.
That's going to be about it, though. I think you're probably done. I mean, boy, we were underselling Clemson pretty bad. But
yeah, that Paul's out there a lot.
That Paul shows up twice.
Of that list, which one surprises you the most that it's never happened?
Well, Alabama, Oregon, just because in the college football playoff era, starting in 2014, or even going back to the BCS.
That's right.
Yeah, like you just would have thought Alabama was there every other year, and Oregon was always in the mix.
If you're going in, if you're sitting here and going into the month of July in the summer of 2010, Alabama coming off winning a national championship with Greg McElroy back, with Mark Ingram back, with Julio Jones back, and Oregon and Chip Kelly, and Oregon got there. They lost to Auburn and Cam Newton.
Yeah.
You would have thought that would have been the year, Alabama and Oregon.
Well, and you could say the same with Clemson and Oregon possibly. You know, Texas and Florida State missed each other by about 5 years.
Yeah.
Because, Florida State was just breezing in the 90s, and then Mac Brown kind of turned Texas around in the early 2000s, and so I think they just missed. LSU, Michigan, that's a little surprising.
I would say the fact that Pat Dye
would we be talking about real quick Penn State, Virginia Tech if James Franklin
that's
had
why I
taken Virginia
chuckled
Tech?
at it. You would have never included that one if James Franklin weren't at Virginia Tech. Pat Dye went to 3 Sugar Bowls, and he did it in one of Notre Dame's rare moments where they were a pretty crappy program.
That's right.
So, normally you would have probably caught Notre Dame in a Sugar Bowl occasionally.
But it just happened to be in the 80s when Pat Dye was doing that right before Lou Holtz.
That's
got there.
right. Before Lou Holtz turned Notre Dame back around, and Notre Dame was a shell of itself. So you never met up in a bowl game if you were Auburn. So that's one that probably is a bit surprising.
But Florida State, Texas, with those brands,
yeah,
it is surprising to me they didn't play each other. That they didn't play each other because Pat Dye early on in the 80s, he did a home and home with Texas.
Yeah.
He did a lot of home and homes with Florida State.
Sadly, I would say this, Jim, in the world we live in, it's probably going to require the college football playoff to match a lot of these teams up. Like, do you foresee Florida State scheduling Texas?
Well, I mean, all those on there, Brown, Auburn, Notre Dame's the only one
I know.
on the future schedule right
I know,
now.
and I don't foresee that changing. I don't know about you guys, but why is Alabama going to schedule Oregon? Why is Ohio State, and Alabama and Ohio State are still scheduling people, but I don't think Ohio State's going to schedule Ole Miss. I'm not sure Alabama's ever going to schedule Oregon. It's probably going to require the college football playoff to erase some of these.
Yeah.
I'd like to see, it's weird, LSU and Michigan. Again, that's another one with all the bowl games the SEC and the Big Ten get matched up in. The fact LSU and Michigan haven't bumped heads down in a Florida bowl game is pretty surprising.
Yeah. Surprising to me that Florida's not on here somewhere. That would be interesting, Brooks. You do so many graphics already, but I would like to know each SEC team's most glaring omission from ever, like Florida gets knocked by never traveling to play anywhere outside the state of Florida. They're starting to do a little bit more of that. I'd like to know who's the biggest brand Florida hasn't ever played and things like that.
Do you think they've played Notre Dame?
Florida and Notre Dame?
Mm-hmm.
Florida, yeah, they have for sure played.
Okay, Lance is back on.
No,
Okay.
This was the Sugar Bowl where Jerome Bettis ran wild on them.
Mm.
So this would have been 19...
I'll look.
92.
92,
Yeah, that was 39-28 Notre Dame Sugar Bowl. Lance got that one.
What were his stats?
Oh, I don't have that now. I can just tell you the game played.
Yeah. I'll look on our friends from Wikipedia. They actually listen.
Yeah, that's who I'm using, right?
They actually listen to our show. They've DM'd the page before.
Yeah,
so.
it's a very good site for stuff like this.
Yeah, it's one of my saved tabs on here. The folks at Wikipedia, really,
Great
really
name
good.
too.
It really is.
It is a good name, Tyler, and they do good work too.
Yeah, their software, their website design is spot on, terrific. Alabama, Oregon. I remember Alabama going to play at Washington.
Was that 80?
I think they did it in the 70s.
Was it the 70s? And then they faced Washington again in a Sun Bowl or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2014, you brought up 2010. Alabama and Oregon were a lot closer to playing each other then for the national championship, but all Alabama had to do was not get upset by Ohio State in the Sugar Bowl.
least
That's right.
yeah.
That's right. 2014.
They would've
Yeah,
been in the
because
national
Oregon
title
had
game.
worked Florida State
That's right.
right before that game. In fact, the game went so long, Alabama-Ohio State started while the Rose Bowl was still going. But Oregon had worked them. So you're right. They were a couple of plays away from facing each other for the
And
national
Alabama had a
championship.
double-digit lead in that game.
21-3 at halftime.
Yeah.
Or
No,
second
it was-
quarter. At
yeah,
least.
second quarter. Yeah.
It was the sit down and shut up moment of my life.
That's right. When Dunaway got
When
told
a
about
big guy told me when it was 21-3 to sit down and
Yeah.
shut up.
Hey, no cheering in the press box. And the guy had on national championship Ohio State rings or Big Ten, maybe probably
Yeah.
Big Ten at the time. He goes, "You wearing one of these?" And Jim's like, "No." And he goes, "Well, then you sit down and shut up."
Yep.
Jim's like, "Yes, sir."
Which I felt okay when it was 21-3, but
Yeah.
that bothered me as the game went on.
Yeah. All right, sir, no cheering in the press box. You wearing one of these? No, I am not.
Did he stare at you?
Oh,
when-
you told him no cheering.
Yeah, Jim told him. The guy was going
I'm
crazy.
a classic no cheer guy.
Yeah, Jim
in the press
loves
box.
enforcing that
But see,
rule.
here's the deal: we weren't really in the press box.
Auxiliary.
Well, did you use your
Superdome press box for an event like that? They maybe have remodeled it, but we were sitting out at the very top of the dome stands, right below the real press box,
Yeah.
where we are in a working press area.
Did you use your passive aggression?
Oh,
to
100%.
talk to him?
100%. 100%.
That didn't work either.
So that's the matchups that have never happened. Look forward to a little work down the road of some classic games we've never seen. I can't think of another one that Alabama hasn't played that they haven't played that I want to see.
They've never played in the big house. I mean, you can start doing like, where have they not played? Not again necessarily an opponent, but wouldn't you like to see a home and home with Alabama and Michigan?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, they're going to check off the horseshoe. They haven't played in the horseshoe either, but they'll check that off.
Yeah, I
in
guess
the
they've done a
upcoming-
home and home with USC back in the 70s,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So, I mean, now we haven't lived to see that. Well,
It was a Legion Field home and home.
Yeah,
I don't know that
Legion Field.
USC's ever come to Bryant-Denny.
Yeah, Penn State, they've done home and home with Penn State, so you've checked that one off the list. That's been both Legion Field and Bryant-Denny. I really can't think of one outside of just a place you haven't seen them play. I can't think of a team you haven't seen them play.
Well, won't this be? No, it won't be, because I think Alabama, back when Florida State was pre-Bobby Bowden, I think Florida State played in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, they didn't get killed. That's back they were 3 years after being a women's college or something like that. And Alabama destroyed them.
I don't know if they destroyed them like they should have.
But I think that was the first Alabama game in Tallahassee last year, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I believe it was.
Yeah. Alabama went to Clemson when I was a kid. I remember listening to it on radio because, they were talking about Death Valley at Clemson night game, I think. And I was like,
That ain't the real Death Valley.
This place sounds like far, far away. I'm pretty sure that was in the 70s, Alabama at Clemson.
Do you guys remember the Alabama game at Temple when they played at the Vet?
Yeah.
You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Brooks, can you check real quick?
Yeah.
Did Alabama play at Louisiana Lafayette
They
one
did.
time? I think
I remember
so,
watching it. Yeah,
At
1990.
Louisiana Lafayette.
When they played Temple, what was the Temple running back's name that was so freaking
I can't
good?
remember.
Oh.
All I remember is our former coworker, Steve Harrison, funny guy.
Yeah, they played a home and home with the Raging Cajuns in 89 and 90.
And I remember the 90 game.
I saw our buddy Steve a couple of weeks ago.
I'll tell you the story here in a second.
Or it
but
could have been a 2-for-1, actually.
the 1990 game at Lafayette, I remember it was pay-per-view, and I want to say our buddy Doug Bell was doing the play-by-play, but I can't remember. But I remember I mentioned before our neighbors when I was growing up had one of those big satellite dishes, so they got all those. So we went over next door and watched the pay-per-view, and Doug Bell was doing the play-by-play, or somebody like that was doing the play-by-play. But I remember they were like, "This is the biggest thing that's ever happened in Lafayette, Louisiana. They've shut the streets down. They had the cameras showing the tents. They've set up food tents. This is massive." And then they show the stadium, and it's like a 25,000, 30,000 seat stadium. I'm like, I cannot believe Alabama is playing this game. What are they doing?
Yeah.
But the Temple game, our buddy Steve Harrison was like, it was in a pro stadium. He goes, so me and my buddies go up there, and he goes, we go sit in the stadium, and it's just a terrible feel. It doesn't feel like a college game at all. He goes, one of my buddies goes to the bathroom, and he goes, he comes back with 2 draft beers in his head. He goes, boys, we're in business.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, back in the
Stadium.
what was that,
NFL stadium.
80s or 90s?
Yeah, it was in the mid-'80s NFL Stadium. Like, they just kept serving beer.
Yep.
He said, I'll never forget, he had 2 draft beers in his head. He goes, boys, we're in business.
I got one for you. They've
Okay.
never played Iowa.
Alabama?
Has never played
Yeah,
Iowa.
I think I could die without that one.
Yeah, that one's not going to excite me.
I
Brooks.
was going power conference.
No, yeah, but
You're gonna have to get a little higher on the meter for me to get excited about it.
All right.
Yeah.
You don't want to go up and wave at the hospital kids?
well, I mean, that's a
Well,
nice
That
moment.
would be nice.
That's
I mean,
a nice
bring
moment.
sick kids into it, Brooks.
Sure. It's a nice moment, but I've got to watch the other 3 quarters too.
Yeah.